Good morning and welcome to Prolight Sound BIZLounge 2021. Great to have you here. Well, virtually. And we would have loved to have you here in person, but due to the obvious reasons, we are welcoming you at your screens. Well, you've set up a completely new event, BIZLounge, but to be honest, is BIZLounge meant to be like a replacement for Prolight Sound?
The Prolight Sound in Frankfurt, here on site, it is the place to be for our community, to our branch, to our exhibitors and visitors. And it's not a replacement. I believe in live, and I believe that there's no replacement for a face-to-face encounter.
We learned in the meantime that there's a big interest in the authorities of the 16 Bundesländern in utilizing the metrics. We are in close talk with some of them to get incorporation in their summer opening plans, because that's what they need. They need a roadmap for the local authorities to decide on which events with which measures can be suitable.
And we try to find measures to reduce risk, and testing is a very good measure to reduce the risk of transmitting. And so if we form some safe bubbles where all the persons are tested, then we can be relatively safe. And as I said before, it has overall benefit for the whole pandemic fight, because if there's a lot of testing going on, then we see what's under the surface. Yeah, if we only test people who are feeling sick or who had any contact with infected people, then we never see what's under the surface going on. And so testing is really, really important. And we have to keep in mind, testing works much better in a very low prevalence. So I think the mission is to really get the numbers down.
It's a roadmap, so to speak, for the way back, and it gives all the small clubs and small venues the opportunity to utilize the summer to make some business with limited capacities and limited package of measures. And it gives the big ones the opportunity to put in place testing procedures and use their full capacity. So there's a choice for everybody.
This is important for everybody in the chain, from large to small independent venues. Working with national local health departments will be key, rather than being seen to be working against them. Very soon, a new document will be published in the US. It's called Safe and Sound by the ESA and the new National Independent Venue Association. And I think the credibility to working with underwriters, working with health departments from the top down will be an invaluable step for the US event sector. And I really applaud the authors of the Matrix, and I'm really hoping that I'll be able to share this with our partners in the US.
There are certainly some interesting developments, and I will outline them here. In February started a series of trial events in the Netherlands, and they were named the Field Lab event. And in April, a great number of events and activities are planned where the Field Lab approach is applied. So that means people need to show a negative test result. They have to show it at the entrance via an app, and then they can enter. And when they are in, they don't have to maintain this 1.5 meter distance anymore. And from the indoor events, already there is data available with some interesting results. Because coming from the indoor seated events, they found that the chance to be infected, it is almost equal to the chance to be infected in the home situation. When you want to go to this event, you have to show a negative test, and that had the biggest impact on safety.
What we want to do, we will gather information for the political discussions. We want to create even more visibility for our sector, and we will give perspective for the future, also for the ongoing transformation process of our industry.
We're not feeling the impact at the moment because of COVID, but as soon as we are able to travel freely, then the impacts will be enormous in terms of cabotage, time and money with carnets and visas and work permits. We believe that unless the UK companies are able to operate freely within mainland Europe, then the UK lose an incredible amount of work and revenue, giving an opportunity for mainland Europe to pick up on all those opportunities.
I really do think that the UK, in many ways, has many more challenges than people that are in the EU. As I said, or as Peter was just saying, they will have to get visas for each of the 27 member states if they're crossing borders. So this is basically, you know, a nightmare. And as Peter was saying, the historical side of our industry is that, you know, music business is big in Great Britain. And of course, the infrastructure, as Peter was saying, has been developed over the years to perfection. So it was very easy to come, start the tour in the UK, move to the continent, and it was also very common to maybe end the tour as well, then go back to the UK before returning to the United States. So like Peter was saying, I think we're going to have a lot of big changes in the industry. We'll have to wait and see what happens. There you can see how politics can really destroy things that are basically for the common good. What we don't want is to have totally different standards for the UK, and I don't think that manufacturers in the UK want totally different standards than we have in the European continent. So we will continue to work together. We've worked with Plaza for years as far as standards is concerned, and that is a big topic, at least for the manufacturing sector.
So, question to all of our panel members this morning. Do you see continued collaboration of stakeholders in the United Kingdom and the European Union in the event industries?
Peter?
Anita was talking.
Anita, yeah.
I think the collaboration will also happen through international conventions or international approaches. I'm thinking now out loud on the World Radio Conference in 2023, which takes decisions on the radio frequencies. And this is an international body, and here we have to work together very closely with the UK because it affects a much larger part of the world. So there are many more topics on which we will continue to work together because they are also ruled by international conventions.
And that's why, if we're talking about culture, as Anita was saying, borders will not stop culture from happening. So government should take a very close look at what we can do to make sure that the cultural sector, but we could get that done by simply saying, let's make, you know, exceptions for the cultural industries. You know, we want the London Symphony Orchestra to be doing tours in Europe because we want to hear the London Symphony Orchestra. Okay, that doesn't have anything to do with economics. It has to do with the way, you know, and I'm sure there are thousands of people in London that want to hear the Berliner Philharmonica. Okay, so those are the things we need to make sure that the politicians understand, that these things go even above and beyond the economic questions.
If you look on definitions of sustainability, there are a lot of people who say that there is a fourth part, which is culture, really. And I'm very in favor of this kind of definition, that you look economic, social, ecologic, and culture as parts of sustainability. And I'm of the same opinion. We need real meetings in the future, and we need also the culture part to develop sustainability in the future.
And at the same time, I think we should also focus on what are the social needs around us and how can we actually use our business to increase the social value of the business for society.
You mentioned at the beginning the fourth pillar in the Netherlands concerning or regarding working sustainable, and you said it's called the way to work sustainable. Could you explain what exactly this means?
In the Netherlands, we call it maatschappelijk verantwoord ondernemen, which means it's a social way. It's a social responsible way of working, because at the end, society is the one who decides if the way you are working is responsible or not. So it's not something you can divine on the inside. You can only find a way of working which is responsible in the perception of society, and the perception is changing all the time.
But obviously there's also the question about reaching out to others. And here I think comes in the big importance, the relevance of arts and culture. If you imagine in a music festival, how many people are there in the audience? And if there was just the message, if it was very publicly visible that the catering is only vegetarian and for what reason it is like this, if the communication about this is very open and showing to other people this is how we are doing and this is why we do it, it can really change the mindset of generations. And I think this really is where arts and music come in to help with this communication and with awareness raising in the general society about the urgent needs that we have.
So Marcus, do you think our craving for big events is endangering sustainability?
Yeah, I think there is a risk really, but perhaps our session is now at the really right time to go in this direction. So be prepared and use the time in the pandemic to be better prepared than we were before. So I also had the experience in the last years that I were in contact with quite a few persons, and they told me, oh, we want to work on sustainability, but we don't have the time to think about the concepts. Perhaps some people have more time now to think about the concept so that they are good prepared to start in a more sustainable way in the time of recovery.
Marcus, ISO standards can help in order to have the same regulations for everyone, right?
Yeah, but we also have to think about, so a sustainable event doesn't have to be more expensive in the end. So for example, if you have a very energy efficient event, you don't have to pay for the energy because you don't use so much. Or if you have a vegetarian catering, in most of the times vegetables are not so expensive than meat. Perhaps there the problem is to find the caterer who is good in vegetarian catering. So I think that in the end, a sustainable event don't have to be more expensive than usual event. What costs money is really to organize the change. So if you have a not so sustainable event and you have to think and to change in another way, that you have to pay for the time, for the investment to change it.
What's eco-design all about? Well, the basic goal is to reduce the energy consumption all over Europe. And that's something that really succeeded. We take a look on what can we do right now, because the legal things only give a framework and kind of reduce the things, but we can fill out this frame with things we can do and contribute with. We watch out for innovations. There's always a point that we can do better tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. And in general, we have the legal framework for the very moment that allows us to use our tools. So we need to take care on sustainability. It's our responsibility. And of course, lighting design is the key. Don't switch on lighting fixtures that you don't need. Creating visibility, it's also creating quality. And by that way, it's somehow right that you are limiting the efficiency by having full spectrum or better spectral distribution. But it will go up also, efficiency will go up even if you have high quality.
we all getting bored by these kind of two-dimensional facing each other technology of all these Zoom, WebEx and Jitsi portals. What we find out maybe is more a kind of AR, VR reality to meet each other in a digital space when we cannot meet physically. For me, it's at the moment, the university is something like the old traditional banks, standing there surrounded by huge private, small private companies making micro credentials, making vocational education possible. We have the challenge as university to be more flexible in our system. It would be a wonderful idea that long-live learning will be possible in Europe, mobile, flexible, and for all of us, in any kind, in every branch, and at any age.
At least the department I'm working in, we're not really pursuing this at the moment due to what's happening at the moment. But what we're really interested in is to find a way for people in the industry to, on the one hand, be able to somehow achieve lifelong learning, but on the other hand, to also get a certificate so that they're certified and they can tell somebody, hey, I learned this, and that's a skill that I can bring to the table.
We build up a kind of skill model of these competences which are really necessary, named the soft skills. And the soft skills are, besides of any technical trend, the basic for anybody working in event industry or in any kind of project management. Every day we have to question how much theory, how much practical knowledge we try to teach to our students. I always have to ask myself, do I make a kind of real scenario, a real event, or do I choose a kind of scenery which is not real but better to explain? And most of the time I choose a real scenario, but a real scenario means, a real event means we have to find a solution, a real solution, and somehow these real solutions are theoretically not that way, to speak about it diplomatically. In my opinion, it is quite necessary to have a very theoretical approach in the beginning, because only with this base, students, we all are in the capacity to choose the right solution, solve a problem with an approach applied way. So I think theory is very important.
There's also the possibility of having bachelor's thesis being written in cooperation with a company. So that might be even a better way of getting to know your future talents or the people working for you. So there's also a big advantage of not only securing new talent in terms of offering a contract well before they're done with their study, but also being there while they study and also make use of the advantage of having a bachelor thesis being written in a company from maybe a person that you would like to employ afterwards.
People from outside Germany can also apply to all three, so that's not a problem either. Many courses are also in English, and I know that we have a very, very high standard at all three of these universities. So from our position as an association, we're very, very pleased that we have the universities here, and we're also pleased with what they're doing. And they are really different. That's why I can simply tell younger people that are thinking about, studying in our industry, take a look at the websites. There are different, places of focus, interests in all of the universities that you can attend. But like I said, I think we're very fortunate in that case.
as professionals in the field of event and entertainment, we are standing closely together at these days. This is a message that we all have sent today at the Prolight Sound BIZLounge. I'm particularly pleased that so many of us have joined us, for I firmly believe that the exchange of ideas has never been as important as it is in these days on a global crisis. I really do hope that we will meet together in April 22. For sure we will meet, but it will be a real event with digital support, but we will hopefully meet face to face. Thank you very much.
And we will start with the Xenos Award. The flexible and elaborate showroom reveals the spectrum of expertise and products offered by Osram and presents the company as a high-tech supplier with a tradition of over 100 years. The jury was overwhelmed by the multifunctional approach and by the uncompromising execution from the model to the finished project, meeting the client's requirements in every single aspect. Many special challenges have been mastered perfectly, for example, the integration of the world of light in existing parts of the Osram headquarters and the planning and installation of a complex media control system in several different parts of the building. The 2020 Xenos Award goes to Osram World of Light in Munich. Congratulations! And we have the award winners here, and I have one more over here. You're missing yours.
I'm missing mine, yeah.
Yes, but I'd like to introduce you first. I'm introducing the gentleman on screen and here in person. Please welcome Martin Schnitz from Technitz, Ingenieurberufe Medientechnik, Kurt Ranger from Ranger Design, Rico Weber from Salzbrenner Media GmbH, Andreas Schindler from Schindler Licht Design, Florian Zach from 3LPI Lichtplaner and Beratende Ingenieure, Michael Boy from Livebau Solutions GmbH, and Mark Zwerner from Osram Licht AG. I think this is you, right?
This is me.
This is your award.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank, first of all, the jury for this award. We are very, very proud about it because there's a lot of heart in this world of light from us. I also would like to thank all the partners. Some are here with me, the others are with us online, because without you, this wouldn't have been possible at all. So it was a great partnership event we all built up together. And specifically, I also certainly would like to thank my team, because without our fairs and events team, this all wouldn't have happened. So that's a great team approach also internally, definitely.
And thank you very much for being here today. And we will continue with Opus. A 35-ton moving head with removable nose. A 338 square meter collar controlled by a cable winch, 2 removable hands made of steel, wood and polystyrene, a tethered balloon filled with 1,300 cubic meters of helium, over 300 spotlights including 60 moving lights, and a 220,000 watts sound system. The bubbling artistic imagination of director and stage designer Philipp Stölzl was the decisive factor when choosing Rigoletto as this year's Opus winner. The 2020 Opus Award goes to Rigoletto. Congratulations. And we have, well, the team online. Here they are, gentlemen, right behind me. I'd like to welcome Wolfgang Urstadt, Technical Director of Bregenzer Festspiele, Michael Kschar, Artist, Producer, Bregenzer Festspiele, and welcome Director and Stage Designer Philipp Stölzl. And Philipp, and your team?
Well, yeah, I mean, it has been a really long way, as Michael just said, 5 years of work and a lot of passion went into the production, not only from me, but also from, like everybody who was part of the team. So it's really something a unique experience for me, and I'm very grateful to have been working there.
Thanks once again. Congratulations. Well deserved. And all the best to you, gentlemen. Stay healthy and maybe see you soon. Prolight and Sound BIZLounge Edition 1 has come to an end. A big thank you once again to our partners and sponsors, namely Adam Hall Group, Bittner, Vectorworks, ETC, Maya Sound and Mistor Art. Once again, thank you very much for supporting BIZLounge. We hope you had a great day with us. We hope you enjoyed BIZLounge edition number 1, and we hope that you gained some interesting insights. You had a great day with us, you liked our panel discussions, and we hope to see you soon. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, stay motivated, keep your heads up, and see you soon. Bye-bye.